Welcome to the NFNG Fantasy Football Report. This is a new video in our league, hopefully to keep things spiced up and make it interesting. Our goal in this is to really try to, instead of writing articles, put something that we can just click on and watch every week and then go ahead and add comments to it. What we're going to discuss in this is waiver pickups, standings/power rankings, trades, and as the season progresses, we're going to discuss playoff projections. And then starting next week, we're going to have Tony's Move of the Week, and then also the Pooch of the Week, or the Pooch Kick of the Week, who really hurt themselves. So first off, we're going to discuss waiver pickups, and it's going to be my decision of the top 5. As we progress through the season, I'm encouraging everybody to email me and let me know what they thought was the best pick, and we'll go ahead and include that in as we go. These were my first 5 choices. Colin had a great one with Larry Donnell at tight end at number 5. His picking of that was fantastic because Donnell is the top 8 tight end as it seems in the league, and PPR has been doing great. Ricky, before last night, looked like a genius in picking up Bobby Rainey. He still scored decently, but fumbled twice and probably is not going to keep that job. David had a great pick of Kerry Robinson with Mark Ingram being out and scoring 20 fantasy points each week while he was the starter. Has a projection of doing great. The other one was by Tony Breeding with Donald Brown. Ryan Matthews out for 5 to 6 weeks. He really increased the strength of his team after the fact of drafting Matt Asiata. And the number 1 pickup of the week was Eric with Niles Davis. I consider this the best move because in my opinion, and many of the other fantasy experts, Niles Davis could be the best thing for Kansas City. Jamal Charles has not shown to be a very good running back this year, even though he has in the past. Niles Davis was fantastic in his stead, thus showing a possible 50-50 split or maybe a 60-40 between him and Jamal Charles, keeping Jamal Charles fresh for the playoffs. Well, now let's talk about standings. At the top of all the divisions is this. Victoria's Secrets, which I think is a hilarious name, number 1 in their division. Sith Lords leading the Tishomingo. Corellian Corvettes, and Iron Butterfly. So as those are the top of the divisions, let's talk standings. Starting at number 5, power rankings, Tony's power rankings of the week. Once again, if you disagree with this or have your own thoughts for next week, please feel free to send me an email. We're going to start with number 5, Black & Decker. Black & Decker has the best wide receiver combo in the league in Brandon Marshall and Antonio Brown. He did well in drafting those, and it still has strength at running back and a great DST. And come back in week 11, he has Josh Gordon, who let's not forget was last year's number 1 fantasy running back, even though missing 2 weeks.
Wide receiver.
It is wide receiver. Thank you. Number 4, David Taylor, Don Shadow. At 1-1 with great wide receivers and running back, really shows a possibility of coming up in this league. His acquisition of Cordell Patterson, with obviously in the league, one of the best open field runners, could actually end up turning into be one of the best moves he's had the entire season. As well in this league, being a return yards lead, Cordell Patterson returns punts and occasionally kickoffs. At number 3, last year's champion, Cloud City Nolando at 1-1. He has tight end strength, he has great running backs, and a good quarterback. Nolan is going to be possibly the first repeat winner in our league. At number 2, Robert Newman. As being the leader of his division and 2-0, he has to have the number 2 spot in the power rankings. And number 1, as this is called Tony's Power Rankings, and possibly skewed, is me at number 1. Not only am I 2-0, scored the most points, I did a trade this week for the number 1 running back. I have the number 2 running back, the number 5 wide receiver, number 1 tight end, and number 2 quarterback. Personal choice, but I think it was a pretty good team. However,
toot your own horn much?
We know that it can change any week due to injury or possible child abuse scandal.
Or if the league remembers that we have veto powers. I vetoed trades.
Yes.
Let's just remember that, everyone.
That was
veto powers.
You're an idiot. We haven't got to trades yet. That brings us into trades. Great segue.
Veto powers. We can all do it.
We're going to discuss the top 4 trades of this week. Actually, we have 4 trades. We usually don't have that many. This is the first time we've ever had 4 trades in 1 week. Number 1 we'll discuss was between me and David Taylor. I gave up Julian Edelman and Shane Vereen, and David sent over Cordell Patterson. David gave up Julian Edelman and Shane Vereen, I gave up Cordell Patterson and Pierre Thomas. Julian Edelman showed to be a top 20 wide receiver last year in this league, and Shane Vereen is a pretty good PPR play. However, Cordell Patterson, fantastic receiver, could easily be the number 1 receiver in the league, and Pierre Thomas is going to get a much higher workload with Mark Ingram out. So it's a pretty even trade well around, but David easily could have won the league with that trade. The number 2 was a trade that I think was more of a homer pick for David, as he traded Larry Fitzgerald, gained Larry Fitzgerald, and gave up Victor Cruz. Neither wide receiver has shown to do anything this season, but maybe both owners are getting tired of them and wanted to try something else. The other trade I had with Tony Breeding was I sent over Quick and Fred Jackson for Pierre Thomas. This gave Tony his backup to C.J. Spiller, thus securing the number 1 running back slot in Buffalo. And also, Quick is the most targeted and highest receiving, tied for highest reception receiver in the league right now. A great PPR play. And the number 4 trade is my trade to Nolan of giving him Rashad Jennings, and Nolan sending me Darren Sproles. This trade was made Sunday afternoon, Monday morning, before Darren Sproles went off that night. So it was a pretty decent trade. Both
Veto
seem to be
powers.
pretty happy with it.
Veto powers.
Anyway, that's going to bring a close to
That's why we have them.
Our fantasy report for this week. Hope everybody enjoyed it, and we'll see if we can make this a weekly steadfast of our league. Later.